Na kabinta ki khubor ba man kasngi pet but subscribe ya u antor news. Kublai phi baro kini kilong ki khubor bam ta kasngi. Ha kasin baning kong ka Sorkar Meghalaya ban pelong ya ka jing kendo lang ya baro kilat pathai khubor ne ginong tho khubor ba ka Sorkar ka khot ban ya mirjingmun but ai jing hikai ya ka pathai khubor halor kaman redefining journalism in the digital age ka juk minta. Kadai ka khana ya kilat pathai khubor ha jylla hadien ki sanphos nemtam ba ka Sorkar ka Kyndit bin riu ban pediang bat ai jing itu ya ki kam jogi nong tho khubor ki ba syniang da ki post nem. Ka Sorkar jylla lyngba katna DIPR ha ka jingyalam commentary ka Dr. Amprin M. Lingdo kala penkop burom ya ki nong tho khubor ki blas lemtam ki ba kenthun ya u Philip Marwen editor try ka khubor you today. Usubroto bata charji buri Chief UNI uba RM Shabong editor Urupang uma MM Thayang editor YouTube Manas Chowdhury former editor the Shillong Times Sanat Chakraborty independent journalist Linda Chakchwa independent journalist and Sanjeev Bhattacharjee photographer the Shillong Times. Hagate ka jingpen ko buram umentri rangba ka jylla u konrad ki sangma ulapin na ban ai jingerap song pisa basilak tingka yagate ki prangut nong yo khusnam na CMSG. Ya kate ka jingyalang la pelong ha Hotel Taj Vivanta kandai lak Shillong ha ka balai shimbenta de kinong tho khubor baro ka wei ka jylla. Bar ki he Sorkar Commissioner and Secretary Information and Public Relations Vijay Mantri ba Director I and PR Malthas Sangma. Ha kate ka jingyalang la yakran ru ya ka biang ka bin ba jingmen toy jingkilat pathai khubor ba ki dei ban yo.
Which is highest for anyone in the important, not only it's relevant and important not only for Meghalaya but entire world. Entire world is discussing about this because after advent of social media, a lot of things have changed. The most important thing, and maybe we don't discuss openly, but the cut in the revenue that happened to the mainstream media, and it's immensely affecting, even though they don't discuss. Because once upon a time, there was a time when all the budget for advertising for all the private companies and government and budget goes only to the mainstream media. There's no other, there's no other avenue or there's no other medium to give publicity or advertise your product. It was only print, electronic and radio. But now the time has changed, the revenue has come down to more than 50%. And this after the social media has come, because there's a lot of advantages are there, especially these private companies. They have a lot of advantage in giving advertisement through social media because there's vibrancy there, there's a connect with the and then there's a very direct. The kind of advertising that they can do is very direct. They can target pinpointedly the one. So even now, if I talk about a pen, and then I can see advertisements on pen. If I talk about a watch, I can see. It's something so direct and so invasive, the advertisement. So that's why people are preferring. That's a major important thing, the money. Of course, more than the money, the second point that has happened is the readership.
The first thing that came to my mind was, will journalists and media persons be satisfied with this kind of a program? It is it is a well-known fact that the media fraternity in the state of Meghalaya is looking up to the government for bigger things. However, despite the fact that we have tried to review a lot of the benefits that we could give media persons, we thought that this would be one of the first things that we should do. Recognizing media persons who have contributed immensely to the field of media should be the first of the things that we do. Because very often when we look around us, the kind of media coverages, the kind of media persons that we see around us must know what media persons of the past were, who were they, what was the quality of their work, and what are the contributions that they have made to the community at large. I know that today we will be discussing a lot of programs, and in the presence of the Honorable Chief Minister, On behalf of the Department of IPR, sir, we want to thank you for having made this, the media fraternity, into looking at what are the kind of things that we likely can do as a government in recognition of the good coverage, the work, the contribution that they engage in. I must thank Mr. Vijay Kumar, who, after his coming, has made several changes in going about and planning how can we help media personnel in the state of Meghalaya. I must thank Mr. M.S. Mathu Sarma, the Director of Information and Public Relations, for his kind presence and also for his willingness to sit and brainstorm as to what are the things that we can likely do to better lives of journalists in this day and age. Today, we are very grateful to all the panelists who will be here to guide the various discussions that are slated. Amongst some of these discussions is the most important of discussions, and that is how do we handle fake news and information. Government is torn between the fundamental right and the principle and rights and responsibilities of citizens when they have to talk or utilize their fairness in serving information or giving opinions on certain matters. I hope that today, when you do discuss this particular topic, you will lend valuable lessons to the government so that we may know what would be the best way of addressing this problem in this day and age. Social media impact is again a very important concern for us. We know that platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram are reaching citizens across at a fast rate, and information is being shared not just locally but also globally. We have to get behind what are the best practices and how best can we control or even guide usage of the social media impact.
That the government, and I don't mean to judge any government, but the government in general has not done enough to recognize the contributions that have been made by our journalists, whether senior or the current fraternity of our young journalists. And that is where we felt the need to have, number one, programs like these, where we felicitate our journalists. We recognize the contributions and the work that they have done, the sacrifices they've made, the challenges they've overcome. And while we do that, we also interact and connect with our fraternity of journalists to be able to then figure out how we can move forward in the larger interest of the media fraternity and the media sector, and to ensure that the entire sector thrives, follows a certain code, is able to improve itself in terms of the given circumstances, in the technological changes that we are seeing. So all of this thought has actually brought us to this point where we felt that we need to have this kind of media meets on a regular basis. We all agree that we disagree. So that's fine. That's how healthy democracy works. And disagreeing with somebody's viewpoint or with somebody's work or somebody's policy is not anything wrong. And I'm sure most of the journalists who have interacted with me or are in touch with me personally, you will realize that for me, every criticism is a positive criticism. This is what I believe. And in fact, whenever I see a news article in any paper, it actually motivates me to resolve that particular problem. So really, you are giving me an opportunity to see the other side of the story. And that's how I take it. And I'm very clear about this, even after 7 years of being the Chief Minister, that every single article and information that is brought in is something that is of a constructive nature, and positives can come out of it, and it is how we look at it and how we deal with it is what is important. And hence, I do want to make it clear that there is no negativity when it comes to at least the way I see things. Of course, there will be, as I said, differences. It's natural because it is the duty of the media, the press, and everybody, in the press fraternity to look at aspects which are important from the public interest point of view and facts that need to come out. Having said that, I think what is very crucial, apart from what you just said, what is very crucial is, as I said, the recognition part, which I've already dealt on. But I just want to also add to this, which I've just shared with our Commissioner Secretary also, that of course the felicitation was given by the department. I thank the Honourable Minister for taking the lead in it. But I also would like to give a small contribution from the Chief Minister's office. So I would like to announce that every single senior journalist who has been felicitated today, from my Chief Minister's special grant, I will be giving an amount of 1 lakh rupees to each of the senior journalists who are felicitated today from the Chief Minister's special grant. Apart from that, as I said, what is the larger goal? I think it's important for us to see that. And really the larger goal is to see how we are able to improve things, how we're able to adapt to the given circumstances, how we're able to grow, how we're able to train. A lot of people think that journalism is very simple, and you just have to be able to write something. But it's beyond that. There's so much of training that goes into these aspects. I would be happy to see and be able to push and promote and support different exposures and trainings for our media persons. I think it's